Hi, Terry O'Reilly here, founder of OBP Australia. Have you ever thought about working in regional Australia? Stay tuned. It seems Melbourne and Sydney are the preferred settlement destinations for skilled migrants. Understandably, major cities have a lot to offer: more employment opportunities, vibrant cosmopolitan centres, greater selection of schools, major events, and possibly some friends or family as a support base. Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth probably come in second with many of the attractions of the big two. But how many of you have seriously considered relocating to regional areas? So, what are we talking about when we say regional? It could be a town population of anywhere between 20 to 70,000, and some towns such as Geelong and Newcastle have over 200,000. Usually, but not always, too far to commute daily from the capital city. Availability of all major goods and services you'd find in capital cities. Regional does not necessarily mean remote, although in Western Australia, Queensland and the Northern Territory, it can be a very long way from the state capital. For example, from Perth to Broome is almost 2,500 kilometres, and that's within the one state. States smaller in area like New South Wales and Victoria are far more densely populated and travel times are shorter. Do some research to see what each regional area offers in the way of employment, services and attractions. And don't forget Northern Territory and ACT. In 2018, the Northern Territory government announced some attractive incentives for people to relocate, so it's worth checking out your eligibility for that. Here are a few compelling reasons why regional life makes a lot of sense, and if you're trying to establish yourself in Australia. Number one, there's less competition for jobs. The Australian workforce is not exactly known for its mobility. The people living in capital cities tend to want to stay in capital cities. Many overseas-born professionals find their first job in regional Australia. Shire councils are an excellent place to start your job search if you're an engineer, accountant or health professional, to name a few. Regional communities are often very keen to attract skilled migrants. It's important for the economy. Number two, cheaper housing. You may have heard that house prices in Melbourne and Sydney have become prohibitively expensive due to a variety of reasons. Skilled migrants tend to start off renting, understandably, but getting your foot in the door, literally and figuratively speaking, is easier to achieve in regional areas where house prices are far more affordable. Number three, the quiet life. I've had skilled migrants say to me in relation to the streets of Melbourne, "Where are all the people?" Coming from countries that are densely populated, it might be quite a shock to see the relatively empty streets of a state capital city. Well, if you think Melbourne is quiet, wait until you visit Bendigo, Parkes, Wagga Wagga, or Townsville. According to Wikipedia, there are approximately 25 million kangaroos in Australia, about the same number as people. But you don't need to live in regional areas to meet a kangaroo. These ones are residents of Bundoora, a Melbourne suburb. Number four, less traffic and commuting. If you live in the outer suburbs of Melbourne or Sydney and have to commute to the CBD, it's not unrealistic to expect a 90-minute drive each way, or standing on a crowded train may be an alternative. Well, imagine walking to work, or a 10-minute drive if you live on the outskirts of a regional town. That's potentially an extra 3 hours of time you can reclaim by not living in Melbourne or Sydney. Number five, strong communities. I think strong communities exist even in big cities, but country life does often mean you get to know everyone in the town. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but that's how the saying goes. Number six, the scenery and nature. Forests, rivers, mountains, oceans, snow, and clear, crisp skies with a spectacular night view of the Milky Way. So if you hadn't thought about living in regional Australia, give it a go. If you want more information on how this is possible and what your options are, contact us at obpaustralia.com.au, click Inquire Now. We'll get back to you within 24 hours to discuss your options, whether they be working in cities in Australia or in regional areas. And feel free to ask any questions during that consultation. It's free. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel down below. See you next time.